One thing that every youth needs to do is to understand really where the whole aspect and the whole issue of terrorism began. Because I believe that once people understand the history of religious extremism, let me not use the word terrorism, but the history of religious extremism, then we are able to find where the whole problem came. Just like you, before I was woke, let me say that, I used to hate Muslims to a certain extent. I'm a Christian and I still am. Because every time I thought of a Muslim, the whole idea of terrorism came to my mind. And this is what some of us, even here in this place, have suffered, by the way. It's just that maybe most of you have now become woke and you now know better. But I had to read about it. Rather, religious extremism is as a result of economically drawn interest. Because look at the history of the Crusaders. Crusaders which happened in the 15th century. What happened is that Europe had a lot of economic interests towards the Arab world, and the Islamic world was growing, and it was growing in such a rapid, the speed of its growth was so rapid. So what happened is that Europe needed something, a unifying factor, so that it could combine the whole armies of Europe to go and fight the Muslim-dominated world, which was growing because they had politically driven interest. So what did they use? They used Christianity. Now what happens with Islam? You see, Islam, honestly, I've read Islam, and we can find the 5 pillars of Islam. There are things like the Shahada, the Zakat. Zakat is all about alms giving. Now, if you talk to me about things like Zakat, to me it just means that you love one another because all you're doing is giving. But you see, the problem is when we pollute the doctrine to fit in your own interests. Just my final sentence. You see, terrorism is all driven by economic interest. Terrorism is the force, is the power, but then religion is the flag behind it. When you see a flag, you see an identity of someone. But then you need to think beyond the flag. You need to look at the power. Now that is going to help young people to solve this whole issue.